Thank you. Y'all blame the left every time. Every time. But y'all won't make it really obvious that every time we have one of these issues happen in our country, it is always a white male. 99.9%, it is going to be a white male. There is an epidemic going on in the white community when it comes to their men. Joshua John, 29 years old, unalived 2 immigrants, 2 migrants, 2 detainees. The police were never at any harm. He was allegedly directing those shots at immigrants, at migrants. No police were hurt. And the right went on a whole rant about it's the left, when we have no evidence on which side this boy is on. But I can tell you by looking at him that he's a white male. Now I looked up the last name just to make sure. And the way his last name is spelled, it is a Germanic Slavic origin name, a variant of John, common in Germany, Austria, Czech Republic, and other parts of Central Eastern Europe. You can also find it in Jewish families. Well, are we finally going to address the problem? The real problem in America, whether they're on the left or the white? Another one in Dallas, Texas, from the ICE Detention Center. 4 people were hit. The gunman and 1 other person were unalive. Gunman was self-inflicted. Now, the FBI is saying that the bullets that were found by the gunman and at the scene had anti-ice on it. One of them had anti-ice on it. And now the whole Republican Party is now calling us, the left, the problem for ICE being attacked. I'm going to say this. When you decide to wear masks and hunt down people who are just doing their jobs and trying to live, you don't think there's going to be some retaliation? It's giving KKK. And everybody that's deciding to sign up for ICE and wear your mask and hunt down people that are just trying to make a better life for themselves, because let's be clear, everybody's not a fucking criminal. You are putting yourself at harm, no matter if you're wearing a mask or not, because at one point, when you back people into a corner, they're going to bite back. They're going to start fighting back. And that's not a left or a right issue. That's just reality. You push people into a corner where they feel like they have nowhere to go, they're going to start retaliating. That's just what it is. We don't hate ICE, but ICE is doing shit that's fucked up. Y'all are using children as a way to get parents out of the home. There are 1,200 migrants that are missing from Alligator Alcatraz as we speak. And y'all think that that is right. I'm going to say this. You signed up. You know what you signed up for. You thought you was going to be able to hunt people down and treat people like shit without any retaliation? That's common sense. That's just what it is.
So there was another shooting today at an ICE field office in Dallas, Texas at 7 a.m. today, and 3 people were wounded. The shooter died from a self-inflicted wound, and no motive is known at this time. I will never excuse gun violence of any kind. I don't care who it's against. Just like I didn't excuse it against Charlie Kirk. That was disgusting as well. But with that being said, when ICE agents are going around treating citizens and immigrants the way they are and detaining them the way they are and using kids as bait and kicking ladders from the roof and throwing around and brutalizing protesters, you are openly inviting that kind of violence to yourself. I just want everyone to know that. I mean, change my mind.
A gunman has opened fire on an ICE facility in Dallas. This morning, a sniper opened fire from a rooftop at a Texas ICE facility as detainees were being unloaded. So let's break it down a bit. So with the attack, multiple individuals were critically injured. The sniper died by suicide shortly after the shooting. And it seems the shooter was specifically targeting ICE operations. But this also isn't an isolated incident. Back on July 4th, 10 suspects were charged with terrorism and assault after a coordinated attack on another ICE facility in Alvarado, Texas. It seems we're now seeing a pretty clear pattern of politically motivated violence aimed directly at federal immigration enforcement. JD Vance posted this on X: "The obsessive attack on law enforcement, particularly ICE, must stop. I'm praying for everyone hurt in this attack and for their families." So I'll work to keep you guys updated as this develops. Just a reminder, I have a free email newsletter where I break down many of these topics in more detail, and I also give you morning updates about what's going on. It's a great place to get more direct information from me, and I cannot be censored here. So the link is in my profile. Just go there, click that link. You'll see this screen here. Drop your email in, hit subscribe, and you'll be good to go. Anyway, that's all I got for now. And we'll
Every time America breaks, every time there is crisis, conflict, or corruption, somehow black people end up taking the blame. It does not matter who caused it, who planned it, or who profit from it. The narrative always turns toward the same scapegoat. But why? Why does a nation built on exploitation still insist that its victims are the problem? Today, we are going to uncover the historical design behind that blame and how it protects those who orchestrated the chaos from the very beginning. Watch and pay attention, and I will share my thought later.
So there was a mass shooting at a detention center in Dallas. The gunman was a white man that shot with a sniper a whole bunch of different immigrants, and I think, injured, an officer. JD Vance, without any evidence, made a statement and said extreme leftists did this. They removed all the data that says that right extremists are the actual ones that's the biggest perpetrators of domestic violence in this country. They've removed that while now over-sensationalizing two specific instances as being leftists without any type of evidence. What we see right now going before our eyes is what some will call manufactured consent, where you get the entire public to buy into this anti-leftist, we gotta obliterate anything that deals with the left. And this right here is what you gotta recognize. These folks so politically illiterate, they view Kamala Harris as a Marxist. They view Kamala Harris as a communist. So they don't understand any differences and distinctions between what the left is and what's going on the left. Y'all need to pay attention to what's going on, because what we see before our eyes is the United States president and vice president and everybody in their administration being able to literally coerce the public into buying in to fear-mongering, nightmare type shit when it comes to leftist politics in general. We know that Antifa just an idea. It ain't no organization. So when y'all making fun of being like, they so stupid, they made Antifa a terrorist group. Yeah, they're going after the ideology. So if anything is being seen as being anti-fascist, anti-capitalist, anti-imperialist, your ass gonna be on the Antifa list. So this is something we should pay attention to, especially if you ain't seeing what's going down and how the media finna spin what's going on in Dallas right now.
Friend, pick up the phone, because you mean to tell me that a white American citizen man can pull up to an ICE detainee facility in Dallas, Texas, open gunfire, and then himself. And these people are being detained because the Dollar Tree dictator wants to round all of these people up. It's the second Caucasian man. Third, sorry, because Colorado. Fourth, sorry, because Florida. In a few weeks, maybe two. And I'm not singling out a race. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying it's not the left either. I'm just saying the hate in this world is not because of people that look like me. It's not because of people that think and are in alignment with what's right. It's because of the cult, their propaganda, and everything that they are trying to spew into the world. I literally just talked about Laura Loomer. They think that they can just say the shit, and that these people that are just dumb, sitting at home, won't pick up on those emotions and try to act out on that. You're inciting violence. The president of the United States of embarrassment is the culprit. He is the fucking leader. Like, wake up. And then a lot of y'all still have family. A lot of y'all still have parents who condone this shit. And I don't know, like, I feel sorry for y'all, like, because there's no way that I would want to be affiliated with someone who supports the shit that's going on in the world right now. Like, something is literally wrong with you. And I know that there are people who are just bad, horrible people, but I also think that there are people who just refuse to think any other way because it makes them uncomfortable and it makes them have to say that they are wrong. But there is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with admitting you're wrong, changing the behaviors, and living a life that's in alignment with good people. The fuck?
So an ICE facility in Texas just got pew-pewed up. And the ones that got pew-pewed were the detainees, not the ICE agents. The people that were took by ICE in the first place. They were the ones who were targeted and pew-pewed. And then I saw the white man report that on the FYP, and this person said, well, yeah, we don't know the motive. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
Breaking news out of Dallas this morning. A sniper opened fire at a Dallas ICE facility. 3 are shot, 2 are gone. The shooter is down, but the horror is far from over. According to ICE and law enforcement, the attack struck during a transfer of detainees. The gunman fired from an adjacent building, possibly a rooftop sniper position. 2 detainees were killed, 1 injured, and the shooter later died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound as authorities closed in on his location. This isn't just another mass shooting. This is a breach of a federal facility, a sniper assault on an ICE field office. No ICE agents have been confirmed among the casualties, but the victims' identities are still being determined. Homeland Security says the motive is unknown so far, but admitted this makes a rise in violence against ICE and enforcement agencies. Think about that. A gunman perched in a rooftop position, picking off people being moved into custody. 2 lives taken, 1 more forever changed, and a community is reeling. The facility is shaken. Dallas is on edge. This is not just news. This is tragedy, danger, and a warning. There is no justification, no excuse. This sniper didn't just target power. He targeted humanity. And when he couldn't escape the consequences, he turned the gun on himself. Let that sink in and haunt you. The federal system is under attack, and we as a nation cannot afford to be numb. This can't become normal. Stay alert and demand answers, and never, ever let this violence define our response. Let action do that.
Hey, y'all. So today, 29-year-old Joshua John went to a Dallas ICE detention center and basically killed 2 detainees, turned the weapon on himself, another pew-pewing, and of course, J.D. Vance, because the MAGAs and the Republicans want a race war, a civil war so bad, he goes and makes it seem like this guy's a left-leaning person when he's not. He's more than likely not. And I think we really need to reconcile with the fact that these young men don't look like me. And y'all need to reconcile the fact that y'all are raising these terrorists. Y'all are raising these terrorists. And, you know, it's funny because you often see, you know, white folks are scared to go into black neighborhoods, or, you know, black guy comes around, they're locking their car doors, they're clutching their purse. When the reality is, y'all are raising the terrorists. Okay? And the problem is, you guys start showing them how to use pew-pews at a really young age, and you're buying them hunting pew-pews to go out and learn how to hunt, and they get real good at it, and then they turn that around, and they go and they do things like this. You don't see our kids doing things like this. So I really think y'all need to kind of reconcile with and figure out what is happening that is causing all these young men to be these white terrorists. Like, what is happening that's causing them to sit up here and just shoot up places? Why are they sitting in their rooms on computers getting radicalized? What's going on? Are y'all not having conversations with your kid? Are they in their room with the door shut? Y'all not seeing what's going on? Y'all not being nosy enough? Y'all buying the pew-pews? You really, really, really need to figure out what you guys are doing when you're raising these people that turn around and do this kind of stuff, because it's a pattern. It's a pattern, and they all end up coming from the same types of places. You know, you just had last week a 24-year-old in rural Pennsylvania unalived 3 police and critically injured 2. What's going on? Y'all really need to figure this out, because we got another one. And I'm really over the administration trying to paint these people as leftist to try to start mess. They don't even have any information on the person, and they automatically put that out. That is a ploy to try to incite a civil war. And we're not doing it. We're not doing it. Y'all, the calls come in front side of the house, and y'all need to figure out y'all shit.
Whoa, and I was saying with y'all, like, to check this out. Here we go again. If it ain't one thing, it's another. Listen, I told you these folks were trying to spin you, right? Listen. So today in Dallas, Texas, you have a mass shooting. You have a sniper on the roof busting at a ICE facility, right? So this morning when the news was breaking, they was coming up with all kind of shit, and they kept changing the story. And then I guess they finally came with one that they think the public gonna believe. And some dumb motherfuckers will believe this shit. But listen. So the sniper kills a detainee, and then he takes his own life. They find out where the sniper body is at, and then beside him, I guess, they find bullets, shell casings and shit with anti-ice on it. So let me get it. Here's a sniper. He missed every fucking target, but he ended up killing the detainee. And then you telling the public that this man was against them. See, what they're doing is they're trying to turn the right against the left and the left against the right. They're trying to say that the left is radical, and they out here harming people right now, and they assassinating people to get the right, you know what I'm saying, amped up so they can meet violence with violence and kick off the civil war, what they trying to do. Let's just be real about this shit, because every day has been some different type of shit, right? The thing what I don't like is, so this shit is all over the news everywhere right now. We keep talking about the sniper, and we keep talking about the ICE agents that the motherfucker didn't hit and what happened in Dallas. But ain't nobody talking about the detainee, the migrant that lost his fucking life. Well, who was he? What's his name? Who is his family? Why they ain't on TV? Because first of all, he wouldn't have been killed. He was just tucked to the wrong fucking place at the wrong time. If you'd have left him alone at his job or left him at school or wherever the fuck y'all picked him up at, he wouldn't have been in that situation. He would still be alive. But ain't nobody talking about that type of shit, right? Okay. Listen, man. They playing big games, and if you stupid enough to play them, you're going to end up with stupid prizes of what we getting right now. They trying to kick some shit off, folks. The hole goes deeper than a lot of y'all think. A lot of y'all motherfuckers looking at skin tone, and you ain't paying attention to shit. You listening to what a motherfucker from, and ain't paying attention to what's really going on. Open your eyes, folks, because you're going to have more worse days than better days. You know what I'm saying? Condolences out to the detainee family who lost his fucking life. Since ain't nobody saying it on the news, because he wouldn't have lost it if he was left alone. Y'all step out, though. Get it out tomorrow.
Another mass shooting has occurred. Another mass shooting has occurred. This time in Dallas, Texas. Come on, SUFFERlNG with Auntie. Let's talk about it, y'all. So at an ICE detention center in Dallas, Texas, a mass shooting occurred. The unaliver in this situation unalived himself, self-inflicted wound. He also pum-pumed 2 detainees, y'all. 2 ICE detainees were pum-pumed during this incident, and they'll succumb to their injuries. So 3 people gone in this mass shooting that occurred today in Dallas, Texas. To my understanding, more reports will come out later on. To my understanding, they were targeting detainees. Some people were saying they were targeting the officers there. To my understanding, no officers were pum-pumed at all. A lot of people keep asking me, why do I say unalived and pum-pum? The language that you use on social media has to be different. Y'all know what pum-pum means, as well as unalive. Unalive meaning no longer living. Okay, y'all? So that's the language that you will see frequently on a lot of my videos, y'all. Any more information comes out, I'll be sure to report back. Thank y'all for sipping a little more tea with Auntie. Bye, y'all.
A white man got in sniper position and shot multiple immigrants at a detention center before turning the gun on himself. Here's everything you need to know. So a shooting at an ICE facility in Dallas has left at least 2 immigrants dead and a third person injured. The horrific incident occurred around 11:10 a.m. local time in a secure area of the facility used for transferring people from detention center to detention center. The gunman was positioned several hundred yards away on an elevated building and then just opened fire. It appears that the gunman was targeting the building and the immigrants that were being moved within that passageway. The shooter died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and no ICE officers or other staff were shot or injured, yet they're still searching for a motive. Let me get this straight. According to police sources, the suspect was a sniper on a roof and he was armed with a rifle. The shooter, who has been identified by police as a white male, died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head as ICE agents approached him. That means he did not shoot at them, and the 3 victims were immigrants in ICE custody, yet authorities say they're still searching for a motive. Now, this incident occurs as dehumanizing rhetoric around the country continues about immigrants. The investigation is ongoing, and I will do my best to keep y'all updated as more information comes along.
Just minutes ago at an ICE facility in Dallas, Texas, there was a sniper who shot and hurt gravely 3 people in ICE detention, meaning that he was shooting at migrants. When agents went to apprehend this man, he shot himself in the head. So far, they've identified him simply as an adult white male. Unfortunately, after Charlie Kirk in Utah, we see seconds after this occurred when people had no information that the right is already blaming the left and Democrats. The fascist tactic of blaming every single tragedy upon their political enemies is not something that's going to go away. It is baked into how they operate, and that is why they're using 3 migrants being harmed and trying to flip the script and make it something that was the responsibility of their enemies. And we're less than a day away from the Charlie Kirk Memorial, where Stephen Miller gave a white nationalist speech. So stay vigilant in these times. When you hear people saying and speaking about things that have just happened with no information, know that they are trying to spread propaganda to you, that we need to wait and get information that sometimes does not help alleviate any of our questions, but that is how we make judgment calls that are based in reality, not based in bullshit. And it's also how we make a society that isn't one that people try to capitalize upon tragedy, but instead try to have compassion when it happens. And if we're going to be frank, you know who's emboldening violence? The MAGA movement and Donald Trump, and the fascists around the world that cheer them on. Thank you for watching. Please do some engagement and call out lies when you see them. We need people to do it.
It's being reported that a sniper at a Dallas ICE field office has shot 3 detainees, 2 of which have unfortunately passed away from their injuries. The third is recovering in the hospital. We currently don't have any information on the suspect other than they believe they took their own life. Again, this happened at a Dallas ICE field office on September 24th. It's being reported around 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. It's also been reported that no ICE officers were injured. I'm going to keep watching this and following for updates, but let me know in the comments what you think about the situation.
There was a shooting, a sniper attack at a Dallas ICE facility in which 3 people were shot. The numbers are varying from 1 to 2 people have been unalived. I'm seeing both reported. These were detainees that were hit as well. It was not the officers, it was the detainees from what I'm able to see. There is a civil turmoil taking place right now, a great divide, as it was designed, as it was intended, that we're seeing happen. And I knew things like this would happen. I knew these types of attacks would begin to carry out. If you guys haven't been hearing about the sort of attacks that have been happening at different college campuses, about lynchings as well, or suspected lynchings, you know, obviously they're trying to keep certain things under wraps for certain reasons. While we live our lives and while we enjoy the sweet things that life has to offer and that God has given us, let us also understand the times that we live in, the direction, the trajectory that this country and just the whole world is heading. Prayers go out to those who were affected from this, and as you know, there are just so many things happening in the world today. We're reaching a tipping point. I've never seen so much tension within this country. It's definitely building upon each event, upon each day, each video shared. People are getting to a point to where it's looking like it's going to get very bad. If you don't know Jesus Christ, if you haven't read your Bible and understood that Jesus said in the last days there would be a distress of nations, that the love of many will wax cold, and that Jesus essentially told us that there would be great civil unrest, well, now is your day to learn of Jesus Christ, to read the word, and to understand that everything that's happening is following a script.
Another day and another mass shooting in America. This time, this happened out of Dallas, Texas, and it's happened at a ICE detention center. And according to reports, 4 people have been shot, 2 are dead now. That includes the shooter. This is the shooter right here, 29-year-old Joshua Jan, I believe. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Now, these bullets right here were found at the scene of the crime. As you can see, he engraved anti-ICE that you can see on that 4th bullet right there. Can't really tell when he engraved on the other ones, but yeah, it's another one of these type of situations. It really baffles me that there are Americans out here that are so deranged, right? They're willing to go out and shoot up a ICE detention center because you disagree with the fact that illegal aliens are being taken out of this country because they're here illegally, or at least that's why I think this guy did it in the first place and took his own life to simply avoid going to prison for the rest of his life, because that's exactly where they would have took his ass had he still be alive right now. All these situations are happening back to back to back to back to back. And it's like, wow. Is anyone surprised anymore? I'm not. Also, the local authorities in Dallas and the FBI, they are still investigating like how all this went down. What was this dude's motive? There's haven't been at least to my knowledge, there has not been a manifesto released as the recording of this. And if there's more information on it, I will update you guys on that. That's all I got about this situation so far. And like I said, if there's updates, I'll post another video about it. But let me know what y'all think about everything we know about this whole thing so far. Make sure you like.
From the very birth of America, racism was not an accident. It was policy. The first laws that created white and black categories were written to divide poor Europeans and enslaved Africans who might otherwise unite. If you can convince the poorest white man that he is better than the richest black man, one historian said, you will never have to fear rebellion. That was the formula. Create a false hierarchy, then use it to control both sides. During slavery, enslaved Africans were blamed for their own bondage. During Reconstruction, when black communities began to rebuild, they were accused of corruption and punished with Jim Crow laws. In every era, progress from black America triggered backlash, and that backlash came with propaganda. White in power framed freedom as danger. They said black advancement equals social chaos. That lie became a cornerstone of American culture, recycled in every generation. Fast forward to the 20th century, newspapers, radio, TV continues the cycle. When the economy crashed, black people were blamed. When drug hit the streets, black people were blamed. Even though shipping routes, banking systems, and political decisions that created those crises were controlled by powerful white institutions. Control the story, Tim Wise once said, and you can control who the nation believes is guilty, and that is exactly what happened. Blame is not random, it is strategic. By blaming black people, the system diverts attention away from the people actually responsible for exploitation, the political and economic elite. Think about it. Instead of questioning predatory banks, America blamed lazy minorities instead of confronting the prison industrial complex. It blamed black crime. Instead of fixing failing schools, it blamed black parents. Blame becomes the shade that protects power. This blame game feeds America's biggest addiction, denial. It allows the nation to pretend it's fair while punishing those who expose its hypocrisy. If the problem is always black, Wise explains, then the system never has to change. That is why every generation hears the same excuses, just with new language, welfare queens, super predators, critical race theory, different labels, same agenda. But here's the truth, you cannot fix a system by fixing its scapegoat. Real change means shining the light on who benefits from division. Because every time people unite across race and class, the powerful panic. That is why they keep feeding the lie, to keep ordinary people fighting each other instead of the system itself. Black people are not America's problem. The real problem is greed. The real problem is inequality. The real problem is the unwillingness to tell the truth about history. It will keep repeating the same story, just with new characters, new victims, and new excuses. Thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget to like this video and share your thoughts in the comment box below. Until next time, cheers and have a good one.